warm-up. I'm Wilberforce McCrimmon Moose, and this week I'm talking to you about Wigan Athletic. Managed by the charismatic Roberto Martinez, who came very close to becoming Liverpool's manager in the summer. I think only the cut of his loafers was the only thing that put John Henry off at the end of the day. Liverpool are an erratic team, and probably the only more erratic team in the division at the moment are Wigan Athletic. They're capable of beating anybody on their day, as we found out to our cost over the last couple of seasons. They recently won away at Spurs, but then again, they're also managed by a very erratic manager in AVB. We're an erratic team, they're an erratic team. This is a really, really difficult match to call. However, I think that we're just a couple of players short, as always, of becoming a very, very strong, powerful unit. We retain the ball better than we have done over the last couple of seasons, and until we get to our final three going forward, we're a strong unit, and I think we're going to be too strong for Wigan to handle. We're at home, so with that added advantage and the crowd and the Anfield roar from the Kop behind us, I really am hoping that this is going to be our second strong performance of the season, and that we could get a similar scoreline to the Norwich result. I'm not optimistic of us scoring 5. I'm never optimistic of us scoring more than 1 with our current lineup. But I'm going to go for a 3-0 home win to the Reds. We're apparently going to be boosted by the return of Pepe Reina. Daniel Agger's out, but I'm sure we've got enough deputies either in Quartes or Cara. It'll probably be Cara based on the performance last week that starts in his place. Brendan may even keep Wisdom as a centre-half partner with Martin Skirtle, who I'm reliably informed will also make his return to the Reds lineup, this starting lineup this week. So, a strong performance at home is what's required. It's time to start racking up some points, I think. We have a relatively, I don't want to say the word easy, but a relatively less than difficult next path up until Christmas. And that leads to the opening of the all-important transfer window and then who we look to sign. I'm really confident Brendan's going to get it together over the coming period, and he's going to start strongly with a performance against Wigan this week. So there you go. It's Moose predicting a 3-0 win to the Reds. I'm going to go with a 4-3-3 attacking lineup. I'm not sure whether Suzo's going to make the starting lineup at the front three, but he did perform very well in the slightly withdrawn role. So it'll be interesting to see who Brendan picks as his front three. The rest of the team, I think, fairly picks itself. So let's have a quick prediction. We're going to go with Reina, a central defensive partnership, bearing in mind there'll be no Agger, as I said, of Carragher and Skirtle. I'm going to go for Wisdom on the right, Johnson on the left. A midfield three of Sahin, not my choice, this is Brendan's choice, Sahin, Gerrard and Allen, although I'd rather have Shelvey instead of Sahin, as most people know. And a forward line of Suarez, Sterling and Suzo. Again, a couple of those players are interchangeable for me. I'd rather see either Suzo play in the midfield, especially against someone like Wigan, and Sahin rested. And I'd also like to see Gerrard in the front line, but that's probably not going to happen. So there you have my prediction for the lineup. There you have my prediction for the score. You also have my prediction that I think we're going to be climbing towards the top 6 by the time we get to Christmas. So I hope that sits in line with everybody else's. Actually, I don't care if it doesn't sit in line with everybody else's. So this is Wilberforce McCrimmon Moose. Looking forward to speaking to you all on the Proper Pass and Move podcast. Hope you've enjoyed the weekly warm-up. Good night.
Hi there. Who am I? I'm Ian the Don Donnelly, and it's nice to say hello. So this is going to be the pre-match thoughts, the warm-up, 2 to 3 minutes before our match against Wigan at the weekend. Whew. Anyway, before that, I'm sure we're all still buzzing from England's fantastic performance for 70 minutes until whatever his name is, Zlatan Ibra, you know, the Swedish guy, his wonderful performance and that amazing fourth goal. Well, it was a missed kick, I can tell you. You heard it here first. It was a missed kick. He fell over, up he went, and he just happened to catch it nice. So anyway, so we can stop talking about that now anyway. Wigan. They're a bogey team to us these days. We've struggled to beat them in the last few seasons, but I don't think that's because Wigan are anything fantastic. It's because of the level we're at. If you say that a club is at the level, or is only as good as the level it's at its league position, at the moment we're one place above Wigan. They're 5 points ahead of the relegation zone. We're 6 points ahead of the relegation zone. Yeah, 6 points. Not good, is it? But as we talked about on the podcast the other night, and Moose said, in his opinion, if we can get 21 points out for the next 30, well, we'll be up there. But that's a big ask, isn't it? Because we just keep drawing. So I think what we need to do is, starting this Saturday, I think we need to start turning these possession stats into goals. And the people that need to be starting to weigh in are the likes of your Gerrards, your Shelvys, your Sterling. Alan needs to start making the killer pass. He struggled a bit over the last couple of games, but he can't make 100% pass stats for the whole season, surely. So we'll give him that. But I think he needs now to start feeding the front guys with a killer pass that's going to split defences. Talking of the team, I think Rayner's going to come back. Rodgers regards him as the number one keeper, so as a fantastic job Brad Jones has been doing, Rayner will come back. Defence, Johnson on the left, Wisdom on the right, Agger assuming he's fit, and Skirtle. If Agger's not fit, Carragher's going to come in. Obviously, he'll do a fine job. He's at a position now in his career, much like myself, where he knows he's not going to get a game every week, but he's going to do a fantastic job, and long may he do so. Shelvy's going to be fit, according to Rodgers, so I think he will come back in, assuming he's 100% fit. Alan, Gerrard, Sterling, Sahin. Is Sahin going to come back? Sahin will probably play. Do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Saidi come in on the left. Every time he's played, he's been really good. He's made things happen, similar to Sterling. He's exciting. Give the boy a run. Might be able to just make something happen. And obviously, the boy Suarez. Oh, cheers, by the way. The boy Suarez is going to play. He's on fire. He's been involved in every goal we've scored, basically, whether it's an assist or scoring it or just basically pissing everybody off on the pitch that he's played against. Nobody likes to play against him. Heard today that City are supposed to be putting in an offer of 40 million for him at the moment. 40 million? Fuck off. 40 million. 40 million. If Torres was worth 50 million, which he wasn't, but but if Torres can go for 50 million at the moment, Suarez is Liverpool, so he's priceless and he's not going. And Rodgers has said that. So if any Man City supporters have just happened to stumbled across this, fuck off, all right? Fuck off. Sorry, I'm getting emotional now. What's going to happen anyway? So Wigan, yeah. They're similar to us, similar in the way that they've drawn with Everton. West Brom have beaten them, same as us. Swansea have beaten them. So, yeah, oh my God, are we turning into Wigan? That's awful, isn't it? I'd kill myself if I was a Woody back. Okay, predictions. Well, I can't see a lot of goals happening, to be honest. Can we keep a clean sheet? We're going to go with 3 up front, I think. I think the talk is Coney, Di Santo, and I've got it here in front of me. I don't even know who plays for Wigan. I don't give a shite, quite honestly. Oh yeah, Sean Maloney. He's not Irish, is he, by any chance? So if they go up with 3 up front, I think that'll suit us. That will give us a little bit more room in midfield, which hopefully we can press higher up. And I'd be happy with 1-0. In fact, I'm predicting 1-0 to Liverpool. Because to use the words of Brendan Rodgers in his pre-match press conference interview today, apparently Liverpool are in a good moment, because that's what you're supposed to say these days, because that's what all the Spanish say. We're in a good moment. Suarez is in a good moment. Good moments. Brendan, moments. No, Brendan, no, moments. Don't stop it. You're not Spanish. You're Irish. You're Northern Irish. You're Liverpudlian now, if you say the right things. So yeah, anyway, 1-0 Liverpool. Put your money on it. Thank you. Good night.
Hello, this is Sean Matrix from WhereLiverpool.co, and this is the pre-game edition for of Pass and Move for the Wigan game. Wow, I didn't get that wrong. So, yep, they're playing Wigan this weekend, and usually you would think that was good news, but strangely enough, in our last 6 games against Wigan, we've only won the 1 game. Wigan have won twice with 3 draws. So if you're a betting man, you'd have to go with a draw. I know this will surprise you at Anfield this weekend, but the next person who tells me they're expecting a draw at Anfield, no good. So we're coming 13th on the table. Wigan's 14th. They're 1 point behind us on 11. Goal differential, I think we've scored 4 extra goals on them. We haven't lost. Good news is we haven't lost game in the last 6. We've got 2 wins. Unfortunately, our last 4 of our last 5 games are draws, which is driving me nuts. Wigan have had some fairly interesting games recently. They've won 2 and lost 2. They lost to Swansea and they lost to West Brom, but they've beaten West Ham and they've beaten Tottenham, which always cheers me up. So yeah, they're in a bit of a mixed form, but everybody cheers up when they come to Anfield these days. Fans and opposition teams inclusive. Now, in the Wilberforce Moose pointless statistics category, we have both teams with an average height of 182.5 centimetres, which is strange, and we're apparently 3 years younger than they are. Now, yes, a serious difference between the 2 teams this weekend is the fact that we have 7 players injured. Now, we've all known for a while that Lever, Barini and Kelly are going to be out for a considerable period of time, but additionally on the doubtful list we have Agger, Skirtle, Rayner and Shelby. So that blows a bit of a hole in the back line. Be interesting to see whether we stick with the 3 at the back formation that we had against we started with against Chelsea, or whether we end with the 4. Now, an interesting thing about the game last week was that Enrique was effectively playing in front of Johnson with Wisdom on the right-hand side, and I'm assuming he's going to go with that again. Now, Wigan are a strongly left-side dominant team, so that tells you that Wisdom is going to be in some sort of holding pattern, holding back the ball coming forward from down the left-hand side for Wigan, which then frees up Enrique to go berserk like he did last week. So unsurprisingly, with all these draws we've been having, 3 of our last 3 games with draws, there have been under 2.5 total goals scored in our last 3 games, and strangely enough, Wigan are undefeated against us in the last 5 appearances in all competitions, which is just appalling. Why do we have a problem with Wigan? I have no idea. So, I think the main thing about the forecasts and predictions for the game are that, and they're all about Liverpool. Liverpool, because Suarez scores all the goals, there's a high level of personal skill in the way we score our goals. We like to shoot goals from range. We're good at dead ball opportunities. And Wigan's biggest weakness is defending against skillful players, according to who scored. So this is going to be a little on the berserk side. Coming into some more of the numbers, they look remarkably like us in the efficiencies in the peripherals. The only difference here is that we're 20% better at aerial duels, which still surprised me. And we have 50% more shots on goal than they do. That's about the only difference. They're 43% of their attackers on the left-hand side, 29 on the right, whereas we're balanced. That's no surprise. Finally, trying to keep the numbers to a minimum. The thing that really cheers me up about what's been happening with the team lately is that the medium level players have been improving. So while we've had Suarez, Gerrard and Sterling as our best three for more than a month, we now have people like Johnson, who's climbed up to a 7. We have Wisdom, Skirtle, Allen and Sahin, all right around the 6.8 region. So if we totaled them up, we might have 8 guys that are playing with a rating which would usually lead us into the top 4, which is great news. So yeah, that's awfully good. But the takeaway from the specific game this weekend is that we have the top 4 players. Their best 3 players are MacArthur, Maloney and Alcaraz. I've got no idea. But in any case, yes, they're their best 3. So if I was going to look at shots for goal of who's going to be a threat from Wigan, we're talking about Kone on the right-hand side, Santo in the middle, and Moses on the left. Or at least that's a configuration they may use. And then, wow, almost nobody. So I think we have 6 of the top 10 as Liverpool. And that'll about do it, I think. Consistent with my comment on the blue pill, I'm going to go with a 2-1 scoreline, Liverpool win. Firstly, because by God, by gum, Liverpool needs some wins. Bruce is predicting at least 21 points from the next 400 games, so they better get out there and do something. And secondly, I'm just so over watching these draws. It drove me nuts. So, yes, 2-1, and I hope it's a good game, and I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Bye.
It's Stephen here talking about the game on Saturday. I think it's a game Liverpool have to win. It's a game Liverpool should win. Wigan are a decent side when it comes to the top teams, and they have become our bogey team of late. But I think Liverpool are on a good run of form at the moment, not lost in 6, not conceding too many goals in sense of not conceding sort of 2s and 3s that often, barring the Everton game and the Norwich game when the game was won, to be fair. I think the important thing is for Liverpool to start well. I don't think under Brendan Rodgers particularly we've started well, got the early goal, and when we have, we've managed to be pegged back, such as the Everton game. I think if we can get the early goal and really assert ourselves into the game, that would be key. Obviously, international break hasn't helped matters this week. Raheem Sterling, Steven Gerrard, all playing for England against Sweden, and I'm sure we'll have many other players away as well. Daniel Agger should be fit to play, which is good, and it'd be good to have Pepe Reina back as well as John Joe Shelby back to the squad. What I'd really like to see is a performance out of Nuri Sahin this week. It's been very disappointing so far. There's no doubt the guy can play football. He wouldn't have won the German Player of the Year at such a young age if he wasn't a talent. Maybe it's where he's being used, which is the problem. But I think he really needs to start performing because Lucas, according to Brendan Rodgers' press conference today, should be back pretty soon. So if the 3 is going to be Sahin, Lucas, Allen, Lucas, Sahin, Gerrard, we're going to have options there. So if Sahin wants to keep his place, he needs to start performing. I think Liverpool should win the game. I think it'd be great if we could score a few goals, and the goal didn't come from Luis Suarez. If we could get a couple of goals from Gerrard or Allen or something like that, it'd be really good. It's a big week for Joe Allen as well. He's taken some stick because he started so well, but the last couple of weeks he's not been so good, giving the ball away when he looked so accomplished on the ball. Yeah, hoping Liverpool get the result and a good performance, a good attacking performance, and slowly we can start climbing up the table to the dizzy heights of like 11th or something like that. Fingers crossed we can get the result. Just see you guys later.
Hey, so this is Coyley doing the preview for the Wigan game. There's not a lot to be said about this really, other than it's a must win. You can't not win against Wigan because they're rubbish, and we're at home, and if you can't win games like this, then I think you've got to start questioning the project, and you've got to start questioning the way we play. So yeah, I mean, obviously they'll create an incredible atmosphere with all their fans, and yeah, I mean it should be an easy 3-0 win. With Suarez, of course, getting the hat-trick. Can't see anybody else scoring a goal, apart from maybe Skirtle if he's fit. And been reading the stuff this week, kind of weird transfer stuff. Anelka and Tom Ince I read today, both of whom is ludicrous, so I expect they're true. And the stuff about Suarez and Real Madrid is a bit of a worry, because if I was Suarez I'd be thinking about it. So there you are. I haven't got very much to say really. That's, I mean, it's, other than I keep banging on about it, but I don't think you can play Shaheen and Sousa in the same midfield, even if Shelby isn't fit. I'd probably even play Henderson rather than playing both of them. I'd leave Shaheen on the bench. Anyway, there we are, onwards and upwards, and we're on the transfer window, and we can really start to do something interesting. Okay, be good. I'll speak to you soon.